Alright, hello and welcome back to the second quest of and welcome back to the second quest of the Legend of Zelda. We're going to start with level 3 here and should actually be taking care of level 4 as well. Now level 3 is a little amusing because if you pop right over here, you can actually finish this level in about a minute. You pop in here on these 3 dodongos. Hoping to actually catch one of those with smoke, but that was just poorly done all across the board. Alright, there we go. Don't like to waste too many of our bombs. Want to get some refills here. So yeah, that's actually the boss of this level, and you could just proceed down, but instead we're going to go back this way and head up. Let's take our boomerang back out. Definitely want to take out all of the enemies. In fact, this room in particular will clear twice, because we are hoping to get a decent supply of rupees in here. We're going to need, we'd prefer to have 150 rupees going into level 4, but we need to have at least 50. And we'll see exactly why that is when the time comes. Here we have these upgraded ropes, shiny ropes, I guess we can call them. Just, you know, increased hit points compared to in the first quest when we've seen them before. We'll grab the map and we can see that this level is shaped like an L, which means that we now have an E, an L, and an A. I should be a little more cautious, but honestly I don't worry too much about health in this dungeon. It's honestly quite easy. Alright. Here we have the upgraded skeleton enemies with their abilities to have sword beams. And we come up to the Grumble, who we'll provide with this meat. And like I think I mentioned in the last video, we don't technically actually have to do this. The only thing that's here is this one additional room, and in here are some Garaya, who once we defeat will give us the magic boomerang with its extended range. A little amusing because they themselves aren't actually using the magic boomerang. They're just using the traditional orange ones, but whatever. Alright, I have not gotten very lucky with rupees thus far. Have to keep an eye on that, because we might have to do a little kind of rupee grinding, which I prefer not to, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Alright, let's try these out. See, these ones are using the magic boomerang. Why aren't the other ones that actually gave it to us? I don't know. Okay, well, got a few more. We could re-kill the dodongos. I do not want to. And then in here we have the wall masters, which tend to be reasonably generous with rupees, so hopefully we get lucky. We generally try to avoid getting the stopwatches in the wall master rooms, because it'll stop them from coming out, and I wanted them all to come out so I can kill all of them. We'll take care of a few keys along the way. These ones also using the magic boomerang. The only ones who don't are the ones who actually give it to us. Alright, so picked up a little bit in terms of our rupee gains, but in here we get the third piece of the Triforce, and level 3 is already completed. Like I said, level 3, very easy, particularly when compared to, I mean really even level 2, but definitely when compared to level 4. It's a big spike in difficulty, as you'll see shortly. I mean, it's a spike in difficulty and in complexity, enemy types, everything. Alright, let's continue on. See if we can get just a few more rupees before we go in. or, you know, even just into the 40s, it'll probably be fine, because we can generally expect at least some drops in the dungeon itself. Although, you never like to rely on that too much, just in case you get really unlucky. You don't want to trap yourself somewhere, which is essentially what can happen, more or less. Let's take out a couple Octoroks, maybe. That was poorly done, but that's alright. Let's move on. I suppose it gives us an opportunity, even though it's a little bit of a waste of time, to show off that if you come up this direction to where level 5 was in the first quest and do the up, 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 I forgot how many ups I said, instead of a building for level 5, there will be a fairy fountain here. And down on this screen, what we want to do is push this block, and that unveils the entrance to level 4. Alright, now let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that we get some positive drops. I'll light this room up here. And then get out our boomerang. We got some bubbles here, which are always annoying to deal with, but it's going to get much worse, I promise you, as you're going to see very shortly. So, we'll take out this guy, and that should give us a key. Alright, come across here. And we'll go straight this way, just to show off a couple of rooms. So, there's nothing really to do here. In this room, there are a bunch of red bubbles instead of kind of the multicolored bubbles. Those guys, if you are hit, they permanently take away your attack until you are struck by one of the green-blue bubbles that we see here. And when you get by them, nothing happens. You just get your attack back. Now, let's pop into this room here. We have one of our whistle bosses. Now, let's see if we can do a good job with our bomb, which honestly I rarely do, but fingers crossed. The other thing that I try and do sometimes here is drop my candle, and then it does a little extra damage, hits them a few times if you get it right. And if you do it poorly, then you just take damage. Yeah, dealing with these guys when they're small, I mean, probably shouldn't be nearly as hard as it is, but I always have a little bit of a tough time, probably tougher than I should admit, but such is life. Alright, we got some Pole's voices, which are always annoying when you don't have arrows. You just move in kind of awkward ways and take a lot more hits than feels like they should. Keep letting myself get trapped. This one should, yeah, just about be dead. Still hoping for 5 more rupees, which we should get without a huge amount of difficulty. In fact, we definitely will, because there's 10 free ones that I'll show you where that is in a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to try and make sure we don't take any more damage, because there's going to be plenty of tough spots coming up in this dungeon, and we're going to need all the health we can get. And maybe we'll even get lucky and get either a couple hearts or just a fairy at some point and be able to get our sword beam back. That would be very appreciated. Alright, so we got our compass here. And now in this room, I'm actually going to just kind of bypass it, honestly, because it's just annoying dealing with these rooms with the bubbles in there. So we're going to come up and we're going to battle against Aquamentus, which is the name of this boss. They've looked it up some point off screen. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Went up a little early, but that's fine. Yeah, this is Aquamentus, and then the multi-headed dragon is Gleeok, which I always thought was kind of a silly-sounding name, particularly for an enemy that's as difficult and dangerous as Gleeok is, but that's fine. I don't know, I think my attack button there got kind of jammed up. It just didn't attack when I told him to, but probably my fault. Alright, take care of these couple of guys, and then there's something in this room, actually a couple of somethings I suppose. The first one being a secret staircase that we'll have to move a block to unveil. There we go. And it should be this one over here. Good. Well, we'll come down here and collect an item that honestly we can't use for a little bit, so it's not all that valuable to us, and in fact we don't necessarily need to get it at all, but we want to get everything, so we'll snag that. It's the spell book that later, when we actually get the magic wand, we'll be able to use to create fire. But there's also a secret wall in this room. Now, sadly, we don't have 100 rupees right now, so we cannot get this. Probably come back, maybe at the beginning of next video, we'll see. But in the interim, we'll go out this other secret wall and kind of bypass a couple of things. Not necessarily bypass, because it's all stuff that we've seen, but at least that fight earlier in that room where I said I just didn't feel like doing it, we don't have to do that. But at least you have to see the room and know what's in there, which I think is good enough. Alright. So close. Well, at this point, I think I'd rather get some hearts or maybe even a bomb drop just to refill. And I'll take that too, though. Alright, well there's our 50 at least. And, yeah, let's just grab this now. Alright, so we're going to come out here, and we have a tough room that probably could, and maybe even should just bypass, but I can't bring myself to do it. So let's see if any of these guys are going to put themselves in... Oh, thought I was going to be able to escape unscathed there, but no such luck. Yeah, it's a little too easy to box yourself in when there's this many of them. Hopefully we can take one or two of them out relatively soon and buy ourselves a little space. Alright, and a little bit of health refill too. Double bonus. Oh. Got careless. Let's see. There we go. Gotta be a few of them who are close to death, at least I hope. We can start moving on. Genuinely don't even remember what ends up being dropped in this room. It might even just be opening the store, which would be a little disappointing at this point, but that's alright. Alright. And last one. Let's not have any mistakes. There we go. A key, whatever. Suppose we may end up needing it, so we want to come up in here. And obviously you can see that door there that's kind of blocked by the spike traps. We'll find a way over there shortly. This is another room that, if I remember the room... Oh wait, never mind. This is not the room I was thinking of. This room, we're just going to light up and take advantage of these easy gumdrop enemies to hopefully refill a little bit. And, well, we're here. If I remember correctly, yeah, we could bomb up there, and I'm not going to grab those bombs yet. I'm going to leave them for a minute, because there's a couple other bombs that we want to use. So I'm going to head down this way. And actually, I'm just going to do this quickly. Push this up here. I'm just going to open this wall. And then come back down. We'll go through all of that later. But then I'm going to drop this here and take out our boomerang. I think there's, if I remember correctly, still one more wall that we can bomb open. One room up from here. Not sure I'll bother because I don't really need to. There's a different passage or pathway there. But I'll be certain to at least. Oh, hey, look, that bull's voice got stuck. That's fun. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, but I'll take advantage of that. And take advantage of that. Alright. Not in a bad position at all. Now, there we go. Do this, come through here. We'll get these 10 free rupees. And then head out. So if we were to go this direction, it would put us between those two spikes we saw before, so we don't want to go here. At least not this way. But we can come back up this way. And take our bombs out again. Head into here. There should be a Dodongo. There we go. And we'll head up. And we got a few dark nuts in here. More than a few, I suppose. Let's see. I guess we're going to get refilled, so we might as well drop at least a couple. Try to do a little damage. There we go. Alright, we got hit, but at least we took a couple out. Maybe we'll try one more. There we go. Alright. So, this should give us a little bit of an advantage. Suppose this is another room that technically we could skip, but wouldn't want to. A, because I want to at least show all the rooms off, but B, there's something in here that I want to get. Although, dealing with rooms that have this many enemies and the kind of beam statues is not the most pleasant. Particularly when I'm dividing my focus between actually talking about what I'm doing. Which isn't the worst distraction, but does make things a little bit more difficult, I suppose. Right. Especially when it's the dark nuts that require so much work in getting the right angle on. Oh, come on. This is by no means the end of the trials of this level. I suppose it's a good thing that we'd gotten so lucky earlier and were able to refill our health. So there we go. We have the map. We can see the actual layout now, and it is the letter D. So the gap in the middle is where we found those free rupees and the free rupees and the what was the other item? The location where we can buy the bombs. So there's no real significant reason to take out all these keys, other than the fact that it shows us that there is a key in here, but we can't actually get it at this point because we need the ladder. And unless I'm very much mistaken, there is no other way to get over there than to have the ladder. And I'm actually going to go through that bombed hole right now. I'm going to go back down here to collect these bombs that hopefully are still available to us. Actually, re-killing these guys is not the worst thing in the world, as it'll probably refill I shouldn't say probably. Hopefully refill a little health for us. Or at least grab us a couple of easy, relatively easy rupees. Yeah, I'll take it. Alright, so now we'll get these bombs, and then I'm not really going to deal with the enemies in this room. It's another one with the... Nope. There we go. The, bubbles, the multicolored bubbles that cause so much trouble. But what we're going to do, I'm going to utilize the bubbles to get out safely, and we're going to escape up here, where a wise old man is going to tell us something that's confusingly helpful. If you go in the direction of the arrow, so there's a location on the map where the rocks are kind of shaped in the direction of an arrow. It's basically telling you to go where it's pointing. Not the most helpful hint. It really doesn't tell you what it's talking about, but it's something. Anyway, we have a false wall right here, which brings us to the room that we bombed open before. And this is why we absolutely had to have these rupees, because we do not want to give up one of our heart containers. And that's not, you know, losing one health. It's losing a full heart container permanently, which is unacceptable. Alright, we're going to come through here and have a room with just these blue bubbles for a very specific reason, and that is because after we go through here, we're going to come to a room that is just these red bubbles. This is purely an annoyance. I mean, I suppose there's a chance you could actually get hit by the bats as you have to go back and forth, but this really just feels like the developer is just giving you a finger and saying, here, you have to waste your time going back and forth so that you can actually get your sword back. Which is very, very annoying. But I suppose I can appreciate the prank. Alright, let's go through here. We're going to get our bombs out. And similar to how we first entered the level, that was not well done. You know what? Let's just drop a new one. We have this enemy in a room full of these cannons. Only now, there's 4 of them instead of just the 2 in the middle. Nice, that went really, really well. I do not do that good of a job normally. So, here we have the Triforce, which we are not going to get yet. Instead, we're going to go through a false wall. There's actually 2 false walls here. One is right here. It is only, you can only go in one direction, so we're not going to do that because I don't want to get trapped on the other side. But that brings us back to that room with the bombs. However, this is bi-directional. We can go up here and go further into the level. This room is not overly difficult. Not easy, I suppose, but should be able to get through here okay. The next room, however, can be problematic, and you gotta be very careful for one very specific reason, which I'll show you. Oh, very nice. That was well timed to be getting that. So, I'm gonna come up here, and we are now locked in this room with these Dodongos. And if you don't manage to kill them with the amount of bombs you have, you're just trapped. You can't really get out. So, hopefully we don't mess up too badly. We're off to a decent start here. Oop, that was not go the way I wanted it to. There we go. Alright. And we have one last big challenge in here. And that is this room, which is really annoyingly laid out, frankly, particularly for fighting Dark Nuts, where if they're coming straight at you, I mean, you can't do anything about it. So for them to be in a room with so many straight corridors was aggressive. Frankly, Bull's Voice aren't that easy to deal with in these areas either. Yeah, I mean, you just get trapped. Absolutely trapped. There we go. Alright, let's hope we don't mess this up. That would be very annoying to have come this far. That obviously doesn't do anything. Jump down here, do it. There is one more important item that we have to get in this dungeon, and it's one that we actually have to get. I guess you can... Alright, so we gotta kill everything and then push that block. You could say we have to get the Triforce as well, I suppose, but we need the raft in here. Alright, we'll grab this. We'll head back to the Triforce piece. If you go through this door, it brings you to that room that we got the map in, but it is one way. You can't come back through it, so don't do that. Alright, go back down here. Back through this room. Through the false wall. If I can press up to it pressively, there we go. Alright, and we can grab the Triforce piece. And with that, we have completed level 4. Alright, so we'll let our health refill and get teleported outside, and then we will end the video, and when we come back, off-screen, I'm just going to grind for some cash just to refill, so we'll restart here, we'll get those bombs, and then see what is coming up next, but till then, see ya!